Hello and good afternoon. This is the PropTech Summit for Future of Office. My name is Sasha, I'm the moderator. And I will hopefully guide you through a very interesting session in the next 45 minutes where we discuss the future of office from various places, probably not just offices. And I would just like to start the introduction round where everyone's please giving their name, their profession, a little bit of their background, and especially to our award winners, more than just one sentence to what they and their company is doing. So maybe we start with the ladies first, and by alphabet, that would be Christiane, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Hi and good afternoon. My name is Christiane Bührsch. I'm heading up part of our asset management team within Union Investment. So my role is being responsible for buildings that we buy within Europe, office, logistic, and residential, as long as we keep them in our funds. Me and my team are taking care of the buildings and making sure that the value is in best case going up.
Dorothea, please.
Hi, I'm Dorothea Haider. I'm one of the co-founders of Twostay, and as such, we are one of the happy winners of the PropTech Award also. And what we do is we turn bars and restaurants that are closed during the day and only open at night into co-working by day. This way we are super flexible and we can open only in 2 weeks' time a new location, and also can go into smaller cities where the traditional co-working spaces make no sense. And on the second side of our innovation is the management system. We don't need any staffing costs, so we don't have staff to manage the different locations, because it's the co-working community itself who manages itself and the spaces.
Thank you. I guess now by alphabet, it's Ansgar's turn.
Hi, I'm Ansgar Oberholz, and as my last name slightly points to, I'm the co-founder of St. Oberholz. It all started 15 years now. We turned 15 in June. It's crazy. It all started 15 years ago with a working coffee concept here in downtown Berlin Mitte. And from that point on, we developed a lot of new spaces. We end up this year in 8 new venues where we run cafes and co-working spaces. But in our DNA, we understand, or we see ourselves as an operating system for real estate. That means on the one side, it's a human factor, but also it's a very digital-driven thing. So we in a way see real estate more like devices and see us as an operating system. And yeah, there are some apps on it. So this is the perspective we have on that.
Done.
Hey guys, my name is Daniel and I'm the CEO and co-founder of ROOMHERO. We are a Frankfurt-based PropTech and Europe's first digital turnkey outfitter for residential and commercial real estate. From day one, basically, it was our goal, or even more our mission, our dedication, to revolutionize and forever to change the way commercial and residential real estate is being furnished. And to do it, we have developed an AI-driven technology that radically simplifies and accelerates the whole complex, long-lasting, and for the most people, super annoying process of fitting out properties.
Thank you. And last but not least, Klaus.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Klaus Berberich. I'm one of the founders of Thingit. Thingit is the world's most connected smart building software platform. We are the brains behind buildings like the Cube in Berlin or the Ship in Cologne. And ultimately, our software has addresses 4 stakeholders in a building. It makes sure that the people that are using the office get a great workplace experience app that they can use. We make sure that the corporate real estate teams have a clear understanding of how the space is used and that we support them in the operations of their space through utilization analysis and ticket management and other things like that. We help the facility management teams both on the technical side, make sure that we have sustainable operations in smart buildings, and on the infrastructure side to do smart cleaning and other things sensor-based. And finally, we help our asset management clients assess the value and the performance of their property.
Thank you. Just one or two sentences about me. My name is Sascha. As you already know, I have a background in product management and also work for the St. Oberholz. And especially with the product management background, I'm always interested in learnings and also about failures. And I think that this crisis, as terrible as it is a great thing when it comes to find out about things that you're wrong about very quickly and rapidly. And I would like to give this first question to everyone without any special order, to maybe give one example about the one thing that you've been wrong about and now in the past 3 months learned about this, something that you believed in 3 months ago, something that you planned or took for granted and now think differently about. Who would like to answer this first? Can be something for the future of office, can be just something from your daily life.
Well, I can start with this one, if you don't mind. So I think a couple of months ago, we were just starting to do our expansion into the US, and we were planning on a large rollout with a retail client of ours. And as you can imagine, there is no traveling to the US right now. Everybody in the US is busy with completely different things. We're trying to maintain this through online. But it's really not possible to create the US business acceleration that we had planned in the way. And on the retail side of things, havoc has come over their business, the client's business. All projects are stopped that are not 100% quintessential to the operation. So that was a real challenge for us. We were a little worried about this in the first place, but we refocused our energies on providing technology that helps people get back to the office safely, under something that we call Virus Guard, as technology that helps you maintain social distancing and do contact tracing in the office and other things like that. And we've been able to release this lately and have more than we've gained more traction through this than we had lost in what we've done before in the US and in the retail market. So overall, a bit scary, but a couple of months back. But right now, it's a very, very busy time for us, and certainly a lesson learned and with regards to how good it is to be nimble and be able to adjust quickly.
I think for us, for example, one of the most difficult things now is to prove that we are growing. Because we had 5 spaces operating in Munich, and we closed them because we ourselves will want to contribute in the infection, and so we are in fundraising again. So for now, this has been paused. But instead, something that happened instead is that we pushed hard on sales, and right now we are in talks with 50 people who want to manage their own space in cities across Germany and Austria, like Hamburg, but also smaller cities like Regensburg and Augsburg. And so, yes, it's a difficult time and so super unexpected to have to close for a while these spaces. But then it put us in a very interesting, different situation that allows us now to come back stronger.
Yeah, what I was convinced that before the crisis, home office would be dead in a way. Not that people didn't use their flats as office, but I thought, we heard that since years that everybody should do home office, and we also consult some big companies, and it never really got through the management process. So even some projects were stopped by stopping people letting use their home as an office, and I thought we somehow would really get into third places and more co-working spaces and more flexible structures, and we just would not do the home office step. But I don't have to explain what happened to the home office in the last 12 weeks. But I think the exciting thing here is maybe in the first 2 weeks, everybody was like, okay, this is the solution. And I guess not only people with kids, but I think also people without kids, after 2 weeks in home office, you see it's not the answer to everything. So I think what I totally underestimated is the power of and the perspective change of that anybody has now, because so many people worked at a different place, which is not the office, and where work usually took place in the offices, there's no work. So this tremendous switch, I didn't see that coming. And yeah, I thought home office would be dead in a way, but I think it's not as mentioned, it's not the answer to everything. And I guess it's one answer to the new type of how we use offices and how we work and how we decentralize work. But yeah, I mean, it's great in a way, but I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I mean, Klaus mentioned this already, traveling. I think we have always taken traveling for granted. And obviously, because I'm responsible for Europe, we are traveling a lot as well. But we also had to figure out now, working from home, that you can do a lot of things without traveling to the place, and that you can discuss things and that you can coordinate things also with your service providers. And I think this is also a lessons learned. And I think it's going to be interesting to see whether traveling is going to change in the future as well.
All right. I think Daniel, are you still?
Yes.
Yes. Please.
Yes. Of course. Okay, I thought you want to go forward. Okay, guys. Okay, like personally and business-wise, maybe I start with the personal changes. I mean, like most people at the moment, I'm working remote from home office. And one thing that I have to admit is that doing home office with 2 little children in the age of 2 and 4 needs a lot of determination on the one hand, a lot of creativity in order to get some work done. Yeah, I thought it would be easier. Like, come on, what's going on? Home office, it's pretty easy, a piece of cake. And at the same time, my view on the job of a kindergarten teacher and kita personnel has massively changed over the last, let's say, 8, 10, 12 weeks. And yeah, business-wise, there are positive and negative things that have changed that I have estimated in a different way. The negative thing is that actually deals, or at least bigger deals, take longer as we expected, as customers just do not know what will happen in the next month. They sometimes don't even know what will happen next week. So it's also obvious that they are forwarding a little bit bigger decisions. And the positive thing is, like it has been mentioned before, I think, that we have, or we are able to optimize many of our processes that we have tried to optimize for a remote process already before Corona, suddenly are possible. Yeah, so we tried pretty much to do our whole sales process remote, which was the acceptance for this was let's call it not really big. Yeah, and right now, as everybody is working remote, yeah, this helped us a lot to optimize our processes, which was actually positive. And, yeah.
Thank you. So just a quick show of hands. Who is at home of you 6 right now, of you 5? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, so all of you. Is that a place that you work regularly? So even despite the coronavirus times, would you say this is your home office? Do you have a place to work there? Klaus, your background looks sophisticated. I'm not sure if that was just placed up there for this session now, or if that's your regular workspace.
It has become my regular workspace now because you know, before the Corona crisis, we had a lot of phone calls, but not that many video conferences, really. And I didn't care so much about the wall behind me. I have art on the wall that I'm looking at. but I never had anything behind me before. But after the first 2 video sessions of looking at a white wall behind me, I thought that's not good. I need to prep that up a little bit. I'm in our office sometimes, and I'm at home sometimes. Pretty much the mix, you know, as Ansgar said before, that's kind of the mix that I like. I've been doing this before. I have a great home office setup. I've always had it. I like it. It doesn't replace my office. It's just an additional option for depending on what I like to do. And the travel just goes away, which has ups and downs depending on who you're asking and what that means. But it's yeah, it's my home office here. That's been established as a great place to work way before the crisis, though. The background's new. It's 3 months new now.
But I like the idea of not just have a proper background, but also have something to look at, because I can have a look in the park and see people walking their dog and kids playing. It's a bit tempting to just listen to you and look over there. Something that made you can maybe see that the background of or Ansgar's background, my background is kind of same but different. We're actually in the same building. I could almost see him. And I think the reason why we both got convinced to come here is because the argument was there's the proper infrastructure. So we know that the GERMANTECH people that are one of the main hosts and sponsors for this event are around. So we have someone to ask in case of technical emergencies and difficulties, or what's my time slot again. Also, we can talk before, and also not to forget, we have a proper internet connection here. What is something that you learned working from home, other than putting a proper foreground and background to Christiane, Dorothea, and Daniel? Maybe Ansgar too. I know your home office working situation. I can see it quite regularly. Maybe you can give me one of your key learnings to make yourself an office at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Do you want to start, guys? Yeah.
I follow you.
I think one key learning, and I think that's for the most of us, is you take what you get. So sometimes I work from my bedroom, where actually is my official home office place. Yeah, I've arranged it with a little desk, but yeah, pretty often I work also from all other rooms for the.
And I think that was it. Maybe someone else can just jump right in.
Yeah, last week I also worked from the bathroom, because yeah, end up in a bathroom with 2 kids in the bathtub. Trying to improvise is one of the most important things working from home office.
Yeah. Maybe I can follow on this. What we knew before is that the beauty of the co-working spaces, that you have 2 things. You have a network where to connect yourself into, and also you have people who work next to you in silence, and they give you a kind of accountability and structure. So this was something that I think my co-founder Dorothea and we both missed, along with the whole co-working community. So what we implemented in the meantime is a virtual co-working space where people can just connect in Zoom in the morning, give their to-dos, like to give each other in the community the accountability to do my own to-dos and to fulfill my goals. And what we also began doing is organizing the online events in a kind of skill sharing peer-to-peer, which we learned is really an important part of the community. So we have so many wisdom and knowledge in our own community, and people are willing to share it. So this is something that we've been doing quite strongly in the Corona times. So online can help you to have your own better future of it.
Okay, so maybe I can finish off then. So normally I'm not working from home at all. I'm in the office every day. So for me, it has been a very big change. I'm now in the 10th week working from home. And I think what I figured out is that you have to be very disciplined also to take your lunch break and leave the house, because otherwise, so I'm going for a run in the morning, and after that, in the beginning, I was just inside until, I stopped working in the evening, and if it was raining outside, I even stayed inside. So I think you need to be really disciplined to also take a lunch break and leave the house and see something else. And what we figured out within the team is that we have to have regular calls really to keep up the communication, because normally we're all in the same office and you can just walk to the office next door and chat to the people. And even if you don't have something really that you need to discuss, you just go over there and say, so what are you working on, and blah blah blah, and just have a chat. And this is absolutely missing at the moment, because you don't see anybody. I think
Christiane,
this is for us a big change.
If I may ask you, Christiane, what do you think? How is it going to be after you're allowed to go back to the office again, and when it's back to normal? Will you go back to the office every day? What are you going to do?
Well, my boss is not listening, so I can say that now. No, I think I would, seriously, I would rather go back to the office. I could imagine to work one day from home, but I really have to say that I normally enjoy going to the office. And then when I'm leaving the office, the work is done, and then it's my private time. So I'm still a kind of office worker and not so much working from home. And it's also easier for me to communicate with my team when I'm in the office as well. But I would consider to work from home one day a week. So I think it's not too bad. It's not
if
just bad.
One more question. What are you going to say to your
sure.
team? Are you expecting them to come back to the office, or are they going to have the liberty to decide on their own?
Actually, we do offer working from home already. So we have some team members that are working from home one day a week, or some are also even working 2 days a week from home. But we also have a couple of part-time people in the office. So therefore, Monday, for example, is in our team a day where we say nobody can work from home, because Monday is the only day where everybody would normally be in the office, and therefore we keep the Monday to us, that we can have a meeting face to face, etc. But in general, I'm pretty open, and I think what we have learned as well is during this time at home now is that as long as your technology works, you can literally do everything from home. So it's not that you're missing any work, or that you can't do different kinds of things that we do from home. So I think for us, it's also an absolutely new experience. I think it's going to be interesting. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
We figured out that we have some people in our team that in the past they said they would never work from home, but they have changed their mind now. So I think it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we gathered some insights from clients, and we ask companies a lot, and it's more anecdote, but what we found out is that, let's say 1.5 days per week, we expect people to use their home office, despite of, I don't know what the average would have been before, 0.3 or whatever. And so this is a tremendous change, I guess. And it's just one more option of a place where you can do work. And this will definitely shape offices also. And for example, we get requests now from companies who tell us that they will not use their office anymore, but because they will do a lot of home office, but they need more flexible space now. And otherwise, we get requests from companies telling us, hey, half of the people are in home office and will stay there. So can you give us clients for a part of our office? So it's all either way going a highly dynamic process going on, which should somehow change the office culture.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's, sorry, go ahead, Dorothea.
Yeah, I'm just wondering then, if we don't need so much office space anymore, then we don't need to construct more buildings dedicated to offices. And this will also, in my vision, have a positive impact on how we live in the cities, like leaving more space to green areas in the cities. That's a bit of my dream.
That's a really interesting question, right? Will you need more or less or the same amount of office space? But you know, I cannot. If we're looking at the numbers of companies that are supporting home office and their desk utilization rates and all this, we see really low utilization rates in an office that where home office is allowed and you have assigned desks, which is the traditional German office. If you do allow home office, you still have your own assigned desk. And the combination leads to utilization rates of 50, 60%, something like that. I don't think it will be.
Sorry, before that was the number before the crisis.
Yeah, the number before the crisis, exactly. If you allow both, because people are sick on vacation, they go to client sites or whatever else, and then they work from home, and we get these utilization rates, which is something that it's very hard to ignore. The finances around that, and it's a strong supporter towards more flexible workspace setups where you don't have assigned desks for at least a part of your team. That of course then leads to reduced space for desks, but it could lead to you have choices. What do you do with this? You could, for example, make more collaborative space, because people ultimately go to the office, just like Christiane described it. And Ansgar described and everything, partially because that's a better place to work for some people with kids and everything, but also the collaborative aspect to that. So I would assume that some people are going to take some of those workplace savings that they have and reinvest it into a more attractive office full of collaborative spaces. I would assume that changes how Daniel's looking at furniture of a building. I'm assuming it's going to make places like Oberholz and what you do, Dorothea, more attractive, because you're looking for the social interaction. It really doesn't work in an office that's 50% empty. You want the office to be a little bit more crowded. You want people around you. You want that social interaction, and so I think that focus is going to just increase, and we're going to see it everywhere.
Yeah, so this is something that we see as well, based on data that we receive from our customers. On the one hand, the project developers and other companies building and providing office space, but also customers which are using the space. We see that actually there definitely will be a shift in how people work. There will be the work will not be like it was before Corona, actually. So there will be more flexible working. There definitely will be more home working as well. But I wouldn't bet on the fact that will be less new developments. I would even say that the space will be used in a different way. Yeah, the workspaces will be used more efficient. There will be more flexible work, remote working, which will be involved, but the space will still be needed.
Now, short term, we have a quite different aspect as well, because right now with social distancing measures, actually people need a lot more space than they used to before, because you have setups, where people are sitting in a row, 6 desks, right, side by side. And that's not really something that larger corporations still are willing to maintain at the moment, as long as Corona is a risk to your health. Social distancing, 6 feet office of Cushman, Wakefield, or whatever you want to use it, 6 feet distance, stay away from the transit areas as well. So it's relatively typical that in our clients, only 30 to 40% of the desks are available right now under social distancing measures compared to what it was before. And so right now, that's not really an issue because many people are working from home. But as people are going back to the office for a little while, I think, there will be a shortage of space possibly with more space needed per person. And I don't know how long that's going to go. I don't know if you guys know this, but it doesn't seem to me like we're out of this Corona social distancing thing by the end of the year or something like that. That might be a temporary state that goes relatively long before something changes.
I think this is something that we see as well with our clients, and also when we talk to service providers, whether the open plan solution that a lot of companies had, whether that's still going to be the solution for the future. So I think that's going to be, yeah, there might be a change as well, that they're going back to smaller offices, and then obviously you need more space anyway, because you can't fit so many people in smaller offices that you could in open plan. And whether you're still going to stay with hot desking, and what that means, if you say we're still going to do hot desk, and then obviously you need to have more cleaners and stuff so that you can make sure that everything is absolutely 150% clean if somebody else is using the desk next day. And so far, we don't know when we're going to be back full time, I would say. So when we're going to go back to the office beginning of June, we're going to work in teams, so that one team is there for the first 2 weeks, and then we're going to swap, and the second team is going to come in. So I don't know by when I'm going to see all my colleagues again in the office.
Yeah, a lot of our clients go for self-organizing in this case. So probably the most requested feature that we have in the moment is, if you have only 40% of the desks left, you turn them all into flex desks.
Yeah.
And then you let people self-organize what desks they go to. Like you would know it from other flex desking places. You just use the booking app to say, okay, is there a desk available for me tomorrow or not? And then you go there. That's the most requested feature that we have right now, and it's driving more business growth than what we had lost before. With a perspective on other things coming up in this Corona component, with the ability to measure where people actually were, so you can send the cleaning teams, because it's not really possible to do an in-depth disinfection of every desk.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to do it on 30 to 40% of the desks. So you really want to make sure you know where somebody was really sitting, and contact tracing capabilities and all that stuff. But this is going to stay highly dynamic there to see how this evolves. There's a clear desire to go back to the office, though. We can see that people really, really want to allow their team members, for whatever reasons, whether it's because of family and a working situation, good infrastructure, or just social interactions, to go back to the office. I think we're going to see that in 3 months. It'll, most people will have the ability to go back to the office as they like. I'm not sure about the team A, team B concept. I hear that a lot, but
Yeah.
what do you do if you've got an infected person in team A and an infected person in team B? I'm not quite sure.
Then we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, and over time, kind of statistics say that is likely to happen at some point in time, right? So
Yeah.
we'll probably still some figuring out on how that works.
I think it's really difficult, because nobody has the 100% solution how we should go back now and how we're going to handle it. But I think it's also what Daniel said, is it's nice to spend some more time with your kids, but it's also really challenging if you have young kids and you have to work and you have to cope with family and work and everything at home. I think it's at that stage, it's a relief when you can go back to the office at some point, even if it's not going to be for the whole week, just for a couple of days.
No, and if you have kids and you are allowed to go to the office, it feels more like vacation then. Having a real meeting also feels like a massage.
I have 3 kids running around right outside that door here. And they're pretty noisy, but
you close it from inside, probably, yeah?
I can close it from inside, and I have a sound-resistant door. You wouldn't, so but I know that our, I know the struggles in our team. We have people that both are working and the kids are at home, and next to their regular jobs, they now also are kindergarten and teachers, and they have to work in shifts as a family, where the mother works from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. and then the father works from 8 a.m. to 11, and they kind of try to arrange the whole meeting setup around this. They can't wait for the day they can bring their kids back to school, because it's an incredible pressure, and they don't have any social interaction outside of their family. It's just not possible at the moment. So our team members are certainly looking forward to being back in the office more. They will also benefit from the fact that they can stay at home in more situations than they could before. It's a choice. I think it should always be a choice. Looking forward for it being more of a choice. But just like Daniel said, sales situations were always a must on-site for us. It's not like that anymore, and I think we'll appreciate that option.
Yeah,
it's funny because Christiane said something very true actually. We as a company, of course, are very open, and of course we encourage our employees also to do home office when they need to. When there is a plumber or someone coming or something, they of course are free to do so. And the same kind of employees that were actually usually doing more home office, and let's call it before Corona time, even though as a company we of course prefer that we have the people on site, are now the ones that ask us, hey guys, when will you actually open the office again? Just out of curiosity, when can I come to the office? Can I
for a friend.
use my desk again?
Question to you.
It's Klaus, you mentioned that people really have the need of social interaction, and I think this is something that is now really clear. And I guess we all were not aware or not so conscious about it. And I think we will, and I think that will take us, or that will come with us for a long time. I think, yes, there will be interaction, social and human interaction again, but I think we'll do that much more conscious, and we'll plan that more. And so as everything goes much more digital, I think that the analog part and the human part will be even more important, maybe not in quantity, but in quality. So I think if we set up a real meeting, then it's like handmade in a way. It's like the special thing, the special sauce. And I think this will always change work culture and rituals in work a lot. And this will definitely also have some effects on offices and office structure.
Now, do you guys think, I'm curious about this, do you think this is a Corona, we didn't have anything like Corona in any time that we were alive. Do we think it's Corona and then after that back to normal? Or is this something we're going to be prepared for, like in the financial world where massive crises like this have fundamentally changed the structure of audits in the financial world to prevent massive super ditches in the economy? So I have a hard time imagining that anything, even after we have a vaccine and treatment and whatever else, that we'll be able to ignore what a virus can do. And so I'm curious, what do you guys think? What do offices need to do to be prepared for the next? What are the essential features that we're going to need somehow?
I think it's good. I think it's going to be very difficult to be prepared for something like this. But I also think that it's going to take a long time to go back to normal. And the question is whether the new normal will be the old normal. So, and I think with all the restrictions that we had, and I think in Germany we were pretty lucky in the restrictions we had, because we were still allowed to go outside as often as we wanted, and we could have stayed the whole day outside. And I think in other countries it's completely different. But I think with the restrictions that are still in place with traveling, and if you go to a restaurant, etc., it's going to take quite a while until we're going to go back to normal. And as I said, whether that's going to be the old normal is the question. But I'm not really sure how you want to prepare yourself or how you want to prepare your office space if something like this is happening again. I think the only thing that you could do is keeping the 6 feet office, which probably doesn't make sense for everybody, and it's quite expensive as well. And just saying that maximum 2 people can use the lifts will end in very high service charges if the lift is not going up and down all the time. So I think it's very difficult to have a solution in place now, what you're going to do to prepare your office space, that in case something like this is going to happen again, you're ready to offer your tenants that they can still come to the office because you have prepared everything that is needed.
And at the same time, part of the preparation for the next time around has already happened now with Corona. I think companies and freelancers and all people who work have coped quite well and adapted quite quickly. And I think just for us going into a future, there are things that will stay, like things that all of us already know because we are dealing with the future office every day, like knowing that people don't want to commute so far, or that people don't want to have to be following a 9-to-5 routine, and that it's possible to trust your employees and to still see them fulfilling the goals. I think that's all of them are learnings that will enable society and the companies to work better in future and give their employees more freedom.
I think in my opinion,
go ahead, please.
In my opinion, this was a black swan. Yeah, so it's actually something that nobody could really prepare to. Yeah, so I think when even theoretically there was pandemic plans and everything from the government, we have seen that they just didn't have worked so well. So I think for the next pandemic, the offices will be kind of prepared, because with what happened right now, more and more companies will invest in remote working structure and IT, etc., etc. So they will be able to send their employees home maybe faster. They may be able to work remotely more efficient than they do right now, as they have to somehow find a way of working remotely. So I think for a typical pandemic, if it should come another day, I think we will do what we've done now, or maybe in a different way, but we will be prepared. The question maybe would be what would be the next black swan? Yeah, and because this is what happened actually. Yeah, not the pandemic itself, what turned the whole thing, the whole world go crazy. I think this is something that we should be prepared for the next time. We have the distance regulations, hygiene, etc., etc. And this is something that would be more interesting to elaborate on.
For me, it's well, there is the more or less technical layer of regulations, of distancing, of maybe travel regulations and all that. And yeah, we have no choice there. So that will be set by the government or by somebody. We cannot really infect that or transform that. But I think on the question, if we go back to normal, or if there will be a normal, of the normal will be different, I think in the end this is a very personal question, because I've never seen such a great chance and opportunity and such high energy in transformation that's happening everywhere, in private life, in company life. Every company is transforming now very fast. Everything seems to be possible. So I think it's a really personal choice if you just wait for getting back to normal, if you just grab the chance now, and you can really transform from friendships to your relations to the kids till whole companies. And this is something, I think it's a company's choice, but it's in the end a very individualistic choice, and you can choose not to go back to normal, I guess.
Maybe I just got a sign that we're close to the end of the session. I would like to maybe just have one question or ask you for one or two sentences, as this session is called The Future of Office. I think we learned a lot about the current situation and how it might affect the future. 4 months ago, as we started to plan for this session, we probably talked about technology and furniture and great spaces that can do, like one building that can do all the jobs. I think that's gone. If I would guess the future of office, I would say it's not in one building, it's probably many buildings. Many different buildings, and I would say technology maybe isn't that important. You can maybe prove me wrong, but maybe just in 1, 2, or 3 sentences have our final round.
Well, technology, it doesn't have to be like the technology from the other world, but Zoom in the last month did keep my motivation up, because it allowed us as a team, as a Twostay team, and also a community to connect. And this is both for like business reasons to have meetings, but also we do our coffee breaks, which is just like a chit chat and people just connect. And without that, which is also technology, I think this time would have been really hard. If it had been just me in my home connecting with nobody, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think there is no either or no. It's technology will shape the future even more in digitalization, but I think the big learning is that culture, rituals, that the human factor and rooms, for example, are even, well, they will be there, and they are very, very important, and we will get very conscious about how we use them, how we do interaction, if we just take the plane for 2-hour meetings from Berlin to Frankfurt or not. So it's I would say you can't say it's either technology or human factor. I think it's both, and I think that the great thing about the quality of this time is now that we understand that the human factor is also very important, and that total decentralized work doesn't work either. So exciting.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with Ansgar. I think technology is really important to be able that we could work from home and that we could do everything that we're doing at the moment. But I also think that the communication, the direct communication and having chats within the team and discussions and exchanging ideas, etc., is really important as well. So I don't think that the office is ever going to go completely. So.
Thank you.
Just
one or two sentences. Let's be quick.
I think technology is there to support people. Is it either technology or is it direct interaction? It's there. You can see it in the short term. Right now, if you have better technology, you can get back to the office safer. That means you can bring more people to the office right now, which allows you more interaction. That's the use of technology, right? You want to use technology to make human interaction better. That's what Zoom does. That's what a smart building ultimately does. It's not